Hey everybody, today I want to talk about the cost of a food plot. Somebody asked me yesterday about what it costs to put in a food plot, and that really is a loaded question because it all depends on what you're starting with. If we're out in the woods, we got to clear timber, clear stumps, rocks, and everything, and level it up, and it's real stony, and then you have to de-stone the place, and if the soil's very poor, you have to bring a lot of inputs in to start with. So that can get very expensive. So I decided to go over some of the costs that I'm used to, and that'll give you an idea of what it costs to put in a food plot. So the worst case scenario when you do your site prep is to have to clear and stump the lot. This is a 1 acre example. So to clear and stump a lot, it's going to be at least $1,500. And then if you can mitigate that by if there's some timber in there, you can sell timber. Let me just say that most of this can be easily covered by a timber sale. So as you can see, some of this more expensive stuff, you already have logging equipment in there. Most of the loggers usually have a dozer or a track loader. My loggers always have a track loader and a track hoe with a thumb on it so they can pluck stumps out. So clearing and stumping is $1,500, and then if you want to de-rock the acre, that's going to be $2,500 to run a de-rocking machine over that. So now we're up to $3,000 just to get a site prepped. Once it's prepped, we're going to need probably 6 tons of lime on an acre in mountain soils, and I usually try to, if I'm doing just 1 acre, I'll put compost in the truck and have that delivered and spread all together. So a truck will take 10 tons, so I usually put 6 tons of lime and 4 tons of compost in that truck. Delivered and spread, $800 or $1,000. Now we're up to $4,000, right? So the cheapest part is the actual seed that we're gonna use, and that could go anywhere from $30 for some brassicas or clovers, up to $150 for expensive mixes. Cover crop mixes have a lot in them, so they're more expensive. You get more biomass out of them, and you've heard me talk about that ad infinitum. Now I have a seed drill guy. The seed drill guy is going to come with a real high quality seeder and a tractor, and he's going to put that in just right for you. And he's going to charge $175 for that. I did not include the herbicide. So let's say that we're starting out, the best case, cheapest scenario is you have an old field. It's full of grasses. It's going to cost you $50 in materials to spray that. And then depending on what you spray it with, if you already have a four-wheeler with a sprayer on the back, I'm not really including that. Good sprayer costs you $300-400 that you can put on your ATV. And if you're like me and you don't have an ATV, then you have backpacks, and you can put it on with a backpack. The backpack's a couple $100 for a good one. So site prep with just herbicide, if you have a good spot for that, that's fantastic. So you hit it with herbicide. You're going to still want your lime, most likely, and you may want to have to get into some, if you don't use compost, you're going to have to get into some fertilizer inputs. Now, herbicide and fertilizer have doubled in price this year, so we're trying to wean off of those. We don't want to use them unless we absolutely have to. A starter fertilizer on a brand new food plot is a good idea. Using it all the time and getting your fields dependent on it is a bad idea for a lot of reasons. So now we're up to $43.25 just on what I have here. So $4,500. I had one food plot this year that was 1.5 acres. It cost about $7,000 to put it in, soup to nuts. From clearing the timber, getting the rocks out of there, grinding, tilling, bringing the truckloads of lime, that was the absolute most expensive food plot I've ever done, but we sold $30,000 worth of timber off the property, so it was easy to pay for. Okay, so $4,000, $5,000 is what it costs to put in a food plot generally. If you have a field, it's of course much cheaper because you can take the $3,000 site prep off of there. If you're out in the Midwest, you're one of those guys that are lucky and you don't have soil with a bunch of rocks in it, and it's easy to clear a spot, or you may not even have to clear a spot. You can out there you can do it by hand practically. You can avoid all that. So that's the cost of a food plot basically on an acre. If you want to install food plots, let me know. I'd be happy to discuss your property with you over the phone and see what your needs are, and then I could probably, if you're anywhere near Pennsylvania, we can come and take care of it for you. So give me a call, ask questions down below. If you like this content, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. And there's plenty more to come, and I'll see you on the next one.